Welcome everyone. My name is Sean, and today I want to talk about this story out of Houston, Texas, and the reason I want to talk about this story is because it's absolutely hilarious. It brought me so much joy, and I just want to share that with all of you. This story features a carjacker so smart, with so much foresight, that he decided that he was going to carjack an Amazon delivery truck. Now, this carjacker, in his infinite wisdom, knew that he was completely incapable of driving such a truck, so he decided it would be a good idea to ask the Amazon driver that he was robbing for lessons on how to drive it. And as you can imagine, when you steal a vehicle that you have no idea how to operate, it led to the most obvious results of all time, and we have video of it, so I want to share that video with you guys out there in the audience. But before we get into that, I want to say thank you to everybody who signed up over at actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money. Okay?
And thank you to the podcast listeners, Spotify, Apple, and Google's podcasting platform.
Imagine stealing a truck you don't know how to drive. Police in Texas say that's what this man did.
So I gotta be perfectly honest, Inside Edition, you nailed it right here. This hook in the beginning, your little intro, got me on board all the way, and I need to know absolutely everything about this story. I will follow this all the way to arrest, all the way to the trial phase, because it's that funny. You put the dopey music in there, you show the guy falling out of the seat because he wasn't smart enough to even buckle a seatbelt in a vehicle that, again, he had no idea how to drive, and I love everything about this story right off the bat. Now, to be fair to the criminal, we actually have an expert from The Hill Rising. Her name is Jessica Burbank, and she claims that the reason that people commit carjackings is not because they want to steal, is not because they're bad people, is not because they don't have impulse control, or because they don't think through their own actions. It is in fact because cars are really expensive.
Why are we seeing an increase in carjackings? I mean, we saw an increase in the price of used cars and trucks go up by 40%. That's a very high number. I think people are really struggling to afford cars, and it's really sad because you see the main contributing factor of this to be markups done by dealers of 35 and 65%, and you see them raking in record profits. So as the price goes up, their profits go up as well. They're not just accounting for, an incurrence of production cost. They're just raising the price as a part of their regular dealership markup.
And they need cars for their day-to-day activities like shopping for groceries.
And people are really struggling. They need cars to go get groceries, go to work, what have you.
So maybe, just maybe, this guy was really hungry. He needed to go spend money to go to Walmart, but he couldn't afford a car in the used car market. So he decided to steal an Amazon truck. And by the way, Amazon sometimes has Amazon Fresh, so there's groceries in the truck, and drive it to his local Walmart, his local Target, his local grocery store in order for him to buy up what he needs. And since this was in Texas, maybe he was going to H-E-B, we don't know. This sad sack, this poor sucker is just the victim of the used car market. And if you want to see my full video breaking down Jessica Burbank's logic, it will be linked in the description and in the iCard here on YouTube.
An Amazon delivery driver told authorities he was carjacked at gunpoint.
But that's only one potential motive. That's only one potential reason why this guy would steal a car that he didn't know how to drive. And since he hasn't been caught at the time of me recording this video, all we can do is analyze his driving technique and how fast he crashed, because it's hilarious.
He was carjacked at gunpoint.
So right here, you see the dark side of this particular crime. Like many carjackings, this was in fact an armed carjacking. It was done with the threat of a firearm, which makes this a potential deadly situation for the Amazon driver. Again, somebody who's just trying to do his job. Now, for all the people who excuse criminality routinely on the left wing, who also will say, oh, these poor Amazon drivers, they're worked so hard by the company of Amazon, you think having a gun pointed in your face by a criminal, probably somebody who has done this before, probably somebody with a violent history, should be high up on their concern list for workers. But of course, mum's the word in this particular instance, but they'll bend over backwards to claim that this guy, the criminal, the guy with the gun who is willing to kill an Amazon driver over the packages that may be of value within this particular truck, is actually the victim, actually just can't afford his own car, and was actually trying to go get groceries because, oh my god, this is the real reason why people steal vehicles.
The driver told police the suspect not only demanded the keys, but had an unusual request. He asked for lessons on how to drive the van.
Now look, I understand if I'm the Amazon driver that I don't want to be given directions, I don't want to be answering the requests of somebody who's leaving me stranded on the road in the middle of the night in Texas, but I get why he gave him the lessons so that he could pull off, so that way he didn't have to deal with it or potentially be killed because this idiot was stealing a car that he could not drive.
At first, it seemed the crash course in driving helped the suspect get away with the vehicle and all its contents. The van's lights turn on and the suspect merged into traffic. But that luck was short-lived. Just a half a mile from where the delivery van was parked, the suspect falls off of the van's seat and loses control of the vehicle.
But it turns out that the DEI proponents are in fact wrong. It turns out that qualifications do in fact matter, and not having the appropriate training in order to drive a truck like this came back to bite this guy in less than half a mile. Also, again, take note of the fact that he did not put his seatbelt on, which is really poor in terms of safety, and I really think carjackers should step up what they're doing and think about the safety of themselves as they point guns at and try to rob others, because again, in less than half a mile, this happened.
Mile from where the delivery van was parked, the suspect falls off of the van's seat and loses control of the vehicle. The van crashed into a cluster of bushes, and authorities say the suspect took off on foot.
Listen, I am not ashamed to tell you guys out there in the audience that I did this whole entire video based on the fact that I saw this guy fall out of the chair and started laughing uncontrollably at how doofy he was. He falls out the chair, as you can see right there, and then immediately the van ends up veering off into the bushes, and he has to flee the vehicle that he worked so hard to steal without even taking any packages with him. You could see the door flies open right behind him, giving him access to the goods that he was looking to steal, or to the goods that he was looking to trade for bread for a starving family, and I just find this to be absolutely hilarious. And apparently, this is not a one-off. This is not a situation outside the norm. We are seeing an uptick in robberies of UPS, FedEx, Amazon delivery drivers. However, the carjacking thing is something that occurs more frequently as well. And as you could imagine, because these trucks require at least a minimum level of skill in order to be driven, crashes are the norm in these particular instances.
This happened about 1:15 this afternoon. Police say a 24-year-old woman got into an altercation with two men on the street. She was armed with what appeared to be a knife, but she fled the area by jumping into an Amazon delivery van that was parked in the area on the street. One problem, however, the Amazon driver was in the back of that van when she took off. He was not injured, but as she sped off, she crashed into a number of other vehicles on the street as she was trying to make her getaway.
In Ohio, in Florida, all over the country, we see these absolute idiots steal these cars, end up crashing them immediately and getting hurt, maybe even potentially killed, but not even getting away with that much in terms of goods. So what ends up happening is they commit a crime in order to shop for groceries, as Jessica Burbank would tell us, but what they actually end up achieving is not getting fruits and vegetables for their family. They just end up getting into accidents, destroying the truck, costing the company money, and making their area just that much worse, making people who were waiting on their packages wait a little longer, and causing all kinds of other problems throughout our society based on the fact that they're complete and utter idiots. Now, I will give credit to this particular idiot because at least he knew how stupid he was. He didn't try to Dunning-Kruger his way through it. He asked for the driving lessons, but as you can see, they really didn't take. This guy does not have a future in driving Amazon trucks unless the goal is to drive him into the bushes.
The Houston Police Department released surveillance footage and dash camera video of the unknown suspect. They ask anyone with information to contact Houston Crime Stoppers.
Also, to knock his intelligence just a little bit more, he obviously is not that good at disguising himself. He was completely unaware of the fact that these Amazon trucks have their own dash cams, therefore they would be able to capture him, so you could see him masked down outside of the vehicle, get a good look on his face, report him to the Houston PD if you recognize him. I give that to everybody out there in the audience, and maybe this is due in large part to the fact that this was a crime of opportunity. He just decided randomly, guy walking around, criminal type, carrying a gun, that he was going to carjack this Amazon truck because it was there. Like, this was not a plan, this was not anything that was logically thought out, and the proof in the pudding is in the taste, but unfortunately, the pudding is also in the bushes along with that Amazon truck, because this guy could not drive it.
One with information to contact Houston Crime Stoppers at 713-222-8477.
Now, you might think that's it for this story. Call Houston Crime Stoppers, you can get the reward if you know who this guy is, but I do want to analyze just a little bit further more of the technique of this driver, because as noted, didn't bother to put his seatbelt on, but also very notable, he couldn't even 10 and 2 on the steering wheel. This guy is driving all casual with his arms on the bottom of the steering wheel, trying to look cool, trying to maybe attract some of the ladies, and that might be part of his problem. All style, no substance right here with this driving technique. I doubt he even has a real driver's license, if I'm being perfectly honest, and that is quite shameful and embarrassing. If we're being real, this guy deserved to crash this car immediately, and the Amazon truck driver deserved to have this laughable story in order to tell his very colleagues, although he might have got fired because he didn't make his deliveries on time. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe he didn't get fired. Maybe he did get fired, and possibly the reason why is because he didn't want to support a minority when he was attempting to do his job. Now look, I don't really have much to say about this, but I do want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Is this guy as stupid as I think he is? Is he even stupider? Or is he so desperate due to the fact that black neighborhoods have become food deserts and he can't afford used cars because the price of used cars are up because of the pandemic, because of all these evil capitalists and whatnot? And was he trying to just get groceries for his starving family? Again, I'm leaving that question up to you. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments below. As usual, if you liked the video, you show me by leaving a like. You can subscribe for more content. You can follow me on all my social medias. They're linked in the description. Support me via the support links. This has been me talking about one of the dumbest criminals ever. Till next time.